Hi again. In today's lesson we are going to look at formatting fonts. There are a number of ways of formatting a font, and it includes changing the font style. Now you might want to know, what is a font style? A font style is the type of writing that is displayed in your document. We are going to change the size of the text. We are going to look at making text bold, italics and underline. And we are going to look at a couple of text effects that you can apply to your document. As before, when I chatted to you before, you have to remember that in order to change anything you have already typed, you need to select the text first. Okay, so remember, to select a word, you just put your mouse in the word and you double click. To select the whole document, you can use Control A or you can triple click. And to select a paragraph, you just put your mouse in the margin and you double click. So now what we are going to do is we are going to change the font of the entire document. Now there's two ways of doing this. You can either use the font group, which can be found in the Home tab, or you can activate the font dialog box by clicking on this little arrow over here, and the font dialog box is opened. We are going to use the font group. So to change the font, if you look over here, you click on the drop down arrow and there are hundreds of built-in fonts for you to choose from. I am going to choose Calibri. And then to change the font size, you click on the drop down arrow next to font size and you change it. As you hover your mouse on each one of them, it actually shows you the size in your document. It just gets bigger and bigger as we go along. Okay, we're going to make our font size 14. Okay, so if I click away, you can see the font's been changed to Calibri and it's been changed to size 14. In OpenOffice, to change the font and size, it's very similar. You can use the icons on the toolbar over here, or it's a little bit different than Office, where you go to Format and this time you have to choose Character and Font, and that's another way that you can change your font and your size. So I'm going back to Word now. So now to change the style is bold, italics or underlined. And you can find these three buttons in the font group. There's your bold, there's your italics, and there's your underline. So if we had to select this text that says what is genre, I can actually make it bold by clicking on the bold. I can change it to italics, and I can make it underlined all in one go. And it works exactly the same way in OpenOffice. Now, if I wanted to change the color of the font, we select our text again. Okay, and in the font group, I am going to go to font color. Can you see here? It says font color. I'm going to click on the drop down arrow, and there are a lot of colors to choose from. You can even go to more colors, and the colors dialog box will open where you can choose a color from. I'm going to choose navy blue. You click on the color once and you say OK, and if I click away, you can see that the text has been changed to blue. Another thing we can do is that we can highlight the text. Now, highlighting your text and selecting your text are very different. By double clicking in a word, I'm selecting the text, although we also use the term highlight, go and highlight your text. But in actual fact, highlighting means literally, almost like we would do on a piece of paper, highlighting it in a color. You'll also find the highlights in the font group. Our colors are a bit limited here, so I'm going to choose this nice green color. And if I click away, you can have a look over here and see that the word Unreal has been highlighted in green. Quite simple. I'll just quickly go over a few things with you in OpenOffice. I'm going to highlight what is genre. Again, you can make it bold, italics, underlined. We can change the font size, and we can change the font. over here we can change the font color. We'll make it red. And if I highlight another word, I can, or select another word for that matter, we can also highlight it, just like in Microsoft Word. So in that case, Microsoft Office and OpenOffice are almost identical. Now another thing you can do is Word and OpenOffice for that matter have a whole lot of different effects that you can apply to your text to make your document more interesting. For instance, if I double click the word divided and I activate the font dialog box, there's a number of effects that you can choose. You can choose strike through, it'll put a line through it. Double strike through will put 2 lines through it. You can even change your words to all caps. Can you have a look? It's now put the word divided into capital letters. You can do superscripts and subscripts. You know, if you need to make something squared, there's superscript, and it's now b squared. And you can make it subscript if you had to do numbers and say 10 to the 2, or you had to do numbers where you were doing things on the periodic table. Now in OpenOffice, it's just a little bit different. You have to go to Format and Character, and it brings up the Character dialog box, but this time you need to click on Font Effects. And if you click on the drop down arrow, it allows you to put it into capitals or small capitals. If you click on Relief, you can emboss or engrave it. Overlining is where you will find your strike-throughs. Oh, here's your strike-throughs, your single, your double, your bold. And you may choose to double underline or use a dotted underline, etc. And then if we go to Position, and I highlight the 2 because we want it to be squared, and I go back to Format and Character, in Position it'll allow you to do the superscript or your subscript. And you can say, okay, that wasn't very subscript. Let's see if we have to change the percentage. A little bit, not really, but that's where you will find it. And that's the end of our lesson on formatting fonts. See you later.